Hello. So, some of the things that stood out to me during the live class were selecting the correct assessment tool and the standards of performance. So, when it comes to selecting the correct assessment tool, this is extremely important because number one, we want to ensure that we're measuring what we intend to measure, and the right or wrong measurement tool can make or break the data, and it may not display exactly what you want it to display. So I remember when I was writing my thesis on racial matching in ABA. So my hypothesis was that Black children with autism would respond quicker to compliance instructions when given by a Black RBT compared to a white RBT. And initially, I played around with just different measurement strategies, like a multiple baseline design or whatever the case is. And some of the feedback that my thesis chair gave me the at that time was she felt like I had a lot of good data and good ideas, but the measurement tools that I was using wasn't reflective of those ideas or that data. So it really challenged me to really think outside the box when it came to assessment tools, but even just the measurement procedures that we're using to measure behavior and to display our data as well. Because we could have a lot of great data, but if we use the wrong, say, graph or chart, or the experimental design more so, then it's not going to be reflective of what we intended to be. So in my dissertation, I'm using the behavior observation scale, and I'm still kind of in the mix about that just because I'm constantly questioning myself, is there a better tool that I can use to support my research? And just thinking about just science in general, like one of the components of science is skepticism, right? We should always be questioning ourselves and like double checking and challenging ourselves. Like, is there a better way to go about this? Is there a better way to measure this? Is there a newer, more advanced way that maybe 5 years ago, was not acceptable, but now it is acceptable? So just constantly being open to those changes and being open to adjusting and pivoting as needed, especially in this dissertation process. I'm realizing that I'm doing a lot of pivoting because something that I thought worked last week, I came into contact with like a new experience or new ideas or new research, and now I'm noticing, oh, well, this doesn't work anymore. One of the questions that you posed in the live meeting was, can we change the standards of performance? So this is a kind of a tricky one because there's always kind of this push and pull between like quality over quantity. So specifically, right, in my position, we do a lot of quality assurance checks. We review the BCBA's programs, we give feedback, and we give scores and plans for improvement and all that good stuff. So recently we had a big organizational change and shift, and they realized that the volume of quality assurance checks that clinical directors were required to do was just not practical. So, we were doing like 10 QA checks a month, across all of our BCBAs versus like the question that becomes, is there a way to reduce this so that we can refocus in a different area? So by reducing the amount of QA checks, it allows the clinical directors to complete other tasks or do these other things that we probably weren't able to do because a lot of our time was occupied by those QA checks. So I think that is a good question. Can we change the standards of performance? So the answer is yes, you can always change the standard of performance, but is it a good idea to change the standard of performance? Because you don't want to constantly reduce the standard of performance just to make sure that we're meeting goals or squeezing everything in, and then now we have no performance expectations, or just now we're looking at quantity over quality. So definitely all some good questions posed, and that's my feedback from the discussion this week.